Good morning. Welcome back to Apron Strings in my red kitchen. I'm going to make something really good today. I told y'all here a while back that I was going to share along some of the stuff that I use for the holidays. Well, you know they're getting here pretty quick. Today I'm going to be making a fresh apple cake. And I've had a lot of different apple cakes and muffins, etc. This is the best fresh apple cake I've ever had in my life. And many years ago, back in probably about 1980, a friend of mine, Retha, gave me this recipe, and I have used the fire out of it ever since. And it's different because it has a jar of maraschino cherries in it. It has nuts and apples and the cherries, and it's just delicious. So I'll give y'all the whole recipe after a while, but I'm going to bring you over to the mixer while I mix it up and tell you what I'm putting in it. It makes a bundt cake, but I have got to where, because it's just me and Troy and we don't eat the whole cake before it needs to be eaten, I've got to where I put it in 2 loaf pans. So I've got my loaf pan sprayed with Baker's Secret, or Baker's Joy, that's the name of it, Baker's Joy, which is oil with some flour in it, makes it come out of the pan good. So I've got my pans ready and waiting, and I'm going to get my cake mixed up over here. And of course it's a from scratch, homemade, delicious cake. Maybe it'll become a tradition at y'all's house. So I'm going to bring the camera over and we'll get started. Okay, I've added my sugar. I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to add in my 3 eggs. It calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. This is that good vanilla that April bought me at the Nutcracker Market in Houston. And it's so good. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I like it because it came in a pretty bottle. I like pretty. It calls for a teaspoon of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, and 2 teaspoons of soda. Now you're supposed to put your 2 teaspoons of soda on your apples, but before I realized that, I already had 1 of them in here, so I only got 1 of them on my apples today. Calls for 3 cups of flour, and I'm going to put my top on it now because I really don't want to be bathed in flour today. Okay, I'm going to add my cherries. Give it some liquid in there. Smells good. The cherries and the spices. It smells yummy. Okay, now I'm going to add my apples. And what I did, I used my apple wedger and corer, and then I peel each little piece, and I whizzed it up in the Tupperware Power Chef. You can grate them or you can finely chop them. It calls for 1 cup of golden raisins, and it calls for 2 cups of pecans or nuts. And I'm going to put a little over because I decided, after I had already done this, that I wanted to add a few walnuts to it. I like to mix the nuts, so I'm going to add more nuts than I'll probably put 3 cups of nuts in it. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all the recipe. 1 cup of butter, 2 cups of sugar, and 3 eggs. 1 teaspoon each vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. 2 teaspoons of soda, and you put that on 3 cups of grated apples. 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of golden raisins, 2 cups of nuts, and 1 8-ounce jar of maraschino cherries. You put the soda on the apples and let it set while you're mixing everything else up, and then you add them in. You're going to bake it at 350 for an hour. Now that's for a bundt cake, so I'm just going to have to watch it on my loaf pans. I haven't written it down since I've been doing it that way. I just check it with a cake tester and see when it's done. But I'll try to remember to see how long, probably about 40 or 45 minutes, but I will try to remember to tell y'all what the time frame was. So I'm going to get it over there in the pans, and I'll show you that, and then I'll get it in the oven. Just look at all that yummy goodness. I'm fixing to put them in the oven. And my kitchen is going to smell like Christmas here in a little bit when those spices start heating up. I wish y'all could smell it. But I'll be back and show you the finished loaves. And I know you're going to want to make this one quick as you can go get you some apples. And it's going to be apple season pretty soon, especially in the Washington area. So if any of y'all are watching from there, where apples are going to be abundant, this freezes really well and keeps a long time. You go ahead and make you some up for Christmas gifts if you want to. Okay, the apple bread or apple cake, which it would have been a bundt cake, is out of the oven. It makes 2 beautiful loaves, or you can make several small loaves or 1 bundt. Now it's still warm, so I'm going to have to cool it, and then I'll cut it and show y'all what it looks like. And I cooked this about an hour and 10 minutes in my oven. So you'll just have to watch it to see how long. On the cake it says 1 hour. Normally, dividing the loaves, it should have taken less time, but it took about an hour and 10 minutes to cook. So just so you know. Okay guys, here's a picture of the apple cake made into 2 loaves of bread. See the maraschino cherries, the golden raisins, and the nuts. That is moist and absolutely delicious. Okay, now y'all got one more of my favorite recipes, one of my all-time favorite recipes. It is so moist and so good. You don't need a glaze on it. You don't need anything. Well, maybe a scoop of Bluebell homemade vanilla. That might go if you wanted it, but I like it just like it is. So I'm going to be sharing a few more of the things that I usually cook, especially for holidays. Now, we have this anytime we take a notion for it because the ingredients are readily available. But between now and Thanksgiving, I'll be sharing some of the dishes and things that I cook. And between now and Christmas, I will be sharing some of the things that I always have on my island or bar, whatever you want to call it. Here behind me, it's always filled with all different kinds of candy and cookies and goodies during the month of December. So I'll be sharing some of those recipes with you and ideas and Y'all can get ready to do something different at your house if you don't already do it. When I was a young bride, Mom always would fix a special cake called a date cake, Thanksgiving and Christmas. That was probably the only tradition we had. But I have a friend, Margaret Morris, and she was such an inspiration to me. Her house was always decorated. She had Christmas stockings for the kids, and her table, her formal dining room table, was always filled from end to end and side to side with cookies and candies at Christmas, and I was so impressed with that. And that's where I began my tradition of doing that, was after seeing Margaret's and enjoying it and seeing how much people look forward to stopping by and eating her goodies. And my UPS man, he just can't hardly wait for December to get here to start getting packages delivered here so he can run in and get him some goodies off of the bar. So I love it. I love for people to want to come and enjoy it because I enjoy fixing it. But yeah, Margaret was a great inspiration to me, and I give her credit because Mother didn't do that. So thank you, Margaret. And her girls may be watching this and they know what an awesome mom they had and how she made everything special. You know what? You can make things special at your house. It just takes an effort to go the extra mile and do something to make your family feel like you went out of your way for them, like they really are special. They really do mean something to you. Spend some time with them. School's fixing to start. Spend some time with those babies and talk to them about safety. We're in a wicked world, and don't take anything for granted. Name the things that could happen and give them an escape route and talk to them about what's important. We don't want anybody to be a victim. We want protection. The best way to get that protection is to every morning ask the good Lord to build a hedge around your family, and He'll do that, but He wants us to ask Him. Just ask Him to protect you and keep you and bring everybody home safe this afternoon. Say your blessing before you eat your food. Give Him thanks. And pray that He gives me strength and the knowledge to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm enjoying it. And I'll prove it if y'all will come back tomorrow. We'll have another good something to eat. The good Lord bless y'all and protect you. And I'll see you tomorrow.